Hi, this is Doc Williams from MachineSense. Today we're here to talk about how to unbox and do initial testing on a FeverWarn FW100 or 200 scanner. So we've already opened the box here, and what you'll see here is these are the instructions, and any other documentation that might supersede this video is in this little packet, so don't lose this. It covers basically what we're going to do here today, but don't lose it because it's always a good reference to have. Okay, and I'm going to set that aside for now. And the other thing in here in the box is this little USB dual power power supply. So we'll take that box and set it aside. And there's got little prongs you can flip open for US 110 volt power. We'll plug it in, get power. I don't know if you can see in this video or not, but there's a little light there that lights up blue, and that tells you, you have power all the way here and through this guy, and you're making USB 5 volt power. Okay, so that's all lit up blue, so that's good. Here is our scanner. This video covers FeverWarn 100 or 200 scanners. To look at them on the outside, you can't tell the difference. Okay, this happens to be an FW200. On the bottom of this guy, you'll notice this dual lock adhesive material, sort of like a competitor to Velcro. Actually, it's better than Velcro. But anyway, there are these little sticky things on the back, and what you'll see is they're already stuck together. So for the time being, since we're just doing a bench test, don't take the tape off the back, okay? Don't take the tape off the back. We'll do this when we get to the final installation, okay? So anyway, that's what that stuff is there for. Eventually, we're going to go stick this to something, the wall, or maybe one of our FeverWarn stands that we sell. So anyway, that's your FeverWarn scanner. Let's go back to the box here, because we're not done, so don't throw that box away. We're going to open this box up. You can see here there's another flap. You open that other flap up, and there's some goodies in here, okay? So let's pull the goodies up, and we'll set the box aside, and let's talk about what's in the goodie box. Now, the first thing, again, we have a FeverWarn 200. So if you have a FeverWarn 200, you will get one of these dongles, these little Wi-Fi dongles in the box. So if you have a 200, take this dongle, and there are 4 USB receptacles here, okay, ports. Take this little the USB Wi-Fi dongle and stick it in any one of those 4 ports, okay? So that's, and again, if you have a FeverWarn 100, you won't have this, so don't worry about that. The other thing, is a regular Cat5 or better Ethernet cable with RJ45 on either end, just standard Ethernet cable. That if you have a FeverWarn 200, you can either use this hard Ethernet, and you'll plug one end right in here, okay, to that RJ45 connector. Snaps in there like so, okay. And the other end will go into your infrastructure in your plant, in your building. Wherever this plugs in, it has to get to the internet, okay, because we'll need internet for initial connections and stuff. Now, if you have a FeverWarn 200, all your data will go across either this hard Ethernet or the Wi-Fi, and we'll talk about that in a second. But it'll go across the Ethernet to our Crystal Ball MachineSense cloud site, where all your scans and all that data will get saved off for you for I don't know how long, a year, 2 years, something like that. I'm not sure. That spec keeps getting better, so I don't know. By the time you watch this video, it might be 10 years. I don't know. Anyway, so that's how these scans get up and get saved for all time up in the Crystal Ball cloud. Okay, so and now if you have a 100, the 100, you're not going to have that. Okay, so that won't be in there, but you still have this Ethernet cable. And for a Series 100, the Ethernet cable allows you to take these scans out of here, run them up there, and store them somewhere on your local network. So we'll do another video for how all that stuff works, but just remember that. So don't lose this cable, because if you have a 100, maybe you don't want to do this at the beginning, and sooner or later you do want to do it, you'll want this cable. Of course, your building is probably full of thousands of Ethernet cables that you can snag from somebody, but Anyway, that's what this is for. So I'm going to unplug it for now, and I'm going to set that aside. I set a lot of stuff aside. Now we have one more cable here. We had two cables, now we only have one. This is a USB cable to supply power to your FeverWarn device. That other cable I just tossed aside was in case you have a 130 or 230. That other cable powers up the speaker. So if you have a 100 or 200, you're only going to have one of these USB cables in there. Okay? So the one end of the USB cable, the micro end, so it's a micro on one end and a type A on the other. Okay? It's probably hard to see here, but that's what we have. Okay? So the type A end goes into your power supply, either one of those ports in the power supply, and the other end goes right here in the scanner, the short side down. Okay, now sometimes it's a little hard to get it in here, but miraculously I got it in there right away. So now that's everything we need. This guy is powered up. There's no indication that it's powered up other than there are some red and green lights. So if you look down through here, you'll see some red and green lights flashing inside of this guy. And within a minute or so, the LED on the end will light up. Probably light up white, we hope, but it might light up blue or green or red or white, anything. You never know what's going to happen when these guys are out on the bench, okay? And we'll talk about that a little as well. So anyway, so now we're going to sit here and wait, and there we have our white light. So now we know the following. We know we got good power here. We know we have good power coming out of here. We know we got a good cable. We know we have a good FeverWarn scanner and these up and running logic because we see that light. Okay, so now this is sort of in the way, I guess. This light, the cable wants to be the star of the video. So we see this light, and normally it'll sit here white, and it sits white if there's nothing in the path of the temperature sensor. Now the temperature sensor is this guy right here, that little circle, that little sensor. And you'll see if I put my hand in front of here, it goes blue and then goes back white. As long as I move my hand in there, in and out real fast. So if I put my hand in there and I leave it, and I'm putting my hand right about where this little red button is, which doesn't actually, because it's not actually a button, it's just a little red shiny plastic thing. I don't know what it's for, but anyway, it looks good. So anyway, I'm going to put my hand in. Ordinarily, what's going to happen when this thing's out in the field, a guy's going to come by here and he's going to put his fist under there like so. It's going to turn, it will turn blue as soon as it sees the fist, and then it will turn green or red depending on whether the guy has a fever or not. Okay, so I don't have a fever, I don't think. So I'm going to stick my hand under there, blue, and then green. Okay, and then it goes back to white when there sees nothing creating heat. Now you see when I wave my hand around, you may see this sort of behavior, okay? And we've had some customers call our tech support guys and say, there's something wrong with this thing because it's like doing all this flashing and changing colors and all that kind of stuff, and we don't know what to do. We want to send it back. It's broken. It's not broken, okay? You're not in your final installation spot, so what you get is, anything that happens to be warm that's around, like my belly or my hand while I'm flailing it around here, it's going to cause that thing to change colors. So once you get this guy mounted in his final spot, that shouldn't happen anymore. And just a little side note, when you mount these things, you'll mount them vertically, at the level of a normal person's hand, which is about 6 inches higher than my hand because I'm not normal, I'm a little on the short side. Anyway. You'll mount that guy, you'll want to make sure that everything below it and around it within maybe 3 or 4 feet is not a heat generator, like no heat ducts, no heavy current carrying cables, no active electronics that might be getting hot, okay? So you want a nice, cool, ambient area underneath where this guy looks, and he looks out like this, okay? So make sure you do that. And we'll cover that in another video. We're going to do a final installation video like that. But anyway, what we have right now looks like everything's good. Everything works. We know, again, we know this cable's good. We know the power is good. We know the FeverWarn's good. We know the logic is good because it's doing what it should. So again, I put my hand in there, it goes blue for maybe a second, and then should turn green or red, depending on whether the guy is feverish or not. So it's white, it's blue, it's green, and it's white again. Okay, so that's your normal behavior. So once you have all this stuff plugged together like this, and you've got it behaving this way, you're done. You can unplug all this stuff and go out and install it in its final location. Okay, now you'll also have to do some software stuff, some onboarding and things like that, and that's covered in different videos. So look around in our video library and find that one. But anyway, that's it for that. Now, if you have any problems, if there's anything, if there's a cable missing, or you didn't get you have a 200 and you didn't get your little dongle with it, or any of this stuff is missing, or you go through this procedure that I just went through and something is wrong, okay? Either it didn't light up, or this thing, the little power supply didn't come on. Whatever happens, okay, please give our tech support people a call. I think there's going to be a phone number listed. Maybe it's over on this side of me, or maybe it's over on that side of me. But anyway, there'll be a phone number there for where you can reach these guys. And you can reach them during normal business hours, like I guess 8 to 5 Eastern time. But we're in Baltimore, Maryland on the East Coast. And that's where our tech support guys are. That's where our assembler guys are. And that's where I am if it wasn't for COVID-19. Okay? So right now I'm in my secret location. Anyway, give those guys a call. They love to hear from our customers. They want to know, and we'd like to know how guys are using these things, what they're doing, and those kind of things that help us to maybe develop the next develop the next generation. So, again, give our guys a call and let us know how you're making out. This is Doc, over and out.